All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Friday, July 7th, 2023. Congratulations, guys. We made it to the weekend. I know it was a holiday week, but I'm exhausted. I don't know about you guys. A lot of times these holiday weekends do not recharge me. They make me more tired. Although I feel like emotionally, they do recharge because it's nice to have a little break from the routine and stuff. And I usually get to spend more time with my family. But you're sleepy though because of it, because you're spending a lot of time doing all the other stuff that you're doing in addition or an alternative to your day. But we're here. We made it. The weather's nice outside. Hopefully all of you guys listening on the podcast and the audio only version, hopefully you're having a good run. It was balmy out today. It was like in the 70s with low humidity here in Illinois, which is nice. I had a hard session. I got to run in the Kinvara Pro today. I have some thoughts. But I'll probably do another session in them before I put together a review. But I feel like I got a pretty good read on them already. I'm not sure how much more. I might run in them 2 more times before I get to put together a review. But hopefully that review will be ready like Tuesday or so. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Kind of putting a rush on it because everyone else has their videos out already. But yeah, that's what I did today. And before we get too much further into it, let's say also hi to everyone listening on the audio only version of the podcast. You are listening, not audio only version. We're listening to or watching it on YouTube later, but not live. Welcome to you guys, because you are watching the #1 running themed unboxing show on the internet, live show, even though you're not watching it live. But I feel like we're the #1. Is anyone else doing live unboxings? If you guys know of someone, I won't be mad. I want to talk to them, but maybe someone else is doing that too. I think that'd be fun if other people started doing it as well. I mean, it's weird because like unboxing seems like a very 2019 thing to do, but I'm having a good time with it with you guys. Are you having a good time with it? I find it enjoyable. It's fun. All right, let's see who else we got in the chat here today. Lead Chat says, "Yo, he's getting lunch ready and can't wait." What's going on, Lee? And Raisin says, "Just want to say I got a new PR in my 5K, 10K, and half all in one run last weekend. That is amazing. Good job." Raisin also says, "Went from 10th to 3rd in a Strava run location there. But wherever you are, you have to stay up till 3 a.m. to be able to catch the live. That's late. That's late. Trying to get YouTube up too. Maybe get some rest. I mean, you've been doing a lot of running, so maybe get some rest. You know what I mean?" Eliza says, "Hi, Kofi. I'm glad to be able to stay for the live stream today. It has been way too hot and humid." Yeah, I am very happy to be out of the Atlanta humidity. Although I felt like I was getting used to it. You know what? I do also think that I get used to humidity easier than I get used to altitude. So there's something to be said for that. Yeah, which is harder to do. I feel like training in altitude is harder. Yeah. No, I'm not sure. I think it is hard to train in altitude. It's easier to race in humidity, I think, than it is to race in altitude. Because I did that Freedom Mile out in Mammoth Lakes 2 Independence Days ago. And I think I just barely cracked under 6 minutes for a mile. I might have even been over 6 minutes by a couple of seconds. I don't really remember, but that was a hard mile. And it was a downhill mile too. So that was hard. I don't mind racing in it and humidity. I don't know that I'd want to train in humidity though. That's the thing. Sean Devlin says, "Hey everyone, got in some paddleboarding for the rest of the day. For the rest day today. And the Mach X arrived and can't wait to try them on the weekend." Nice. You'll have to let us know how that goes. This evening, my wife was like, "Hey, we should all go to the YMCA today." And I'm like, "Ooh, wild family Friday night." But she wants to take a yoga class, and then like family swim's open late. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the girls swimming while my wife's doing yoga. And then I'm going to also do my leg day session since I skipped to kind of taper for Peachtree. So I'll have to get back into another leg day. But over the weekend, my daughter would like to go to one of the lakes out here and do pedal boarding. I can't call it paddle boarding. A pedal boat, not paddle boarding. She wants to do pedal boat. You know, when you sit in and you move your feet, like you're riding a bike. She wants to do that. So that's why I thought about that, Sean. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. Mark Peters says, "Oh, surprise unboxing." Yeah, I mean, we got a package. I mean, I know enough. My wife's like, "Are you sure it's for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's for me." Let me double check. Yeah, it's for me. So like, it's from a public relations account, it says. And I think I know the name of the brand. I think I know what this stuff is now that I think I know a little bit more about it. But I didn't recognize it right away. So it's still kind of a mystery unboxing. So we'll see what it is. It feels like it's clothes in here. Not a lot of clothes, but it feels like a couple of things. So we'll see how it goes. Kyle Patton says, "Howdy, y'all. Ran fasted for the first time in a while, and I could tell." You know what happened to me today? So I don't really fasted run unless it's on accident because I'm running out of time. And today, I've been eating oatmeal more. I had oatmeal at Drew's house. It was really nice. I had some oatmeal yesterday. Today, I can't eat oatmeal 2 days in a row, I think, though. I just don't like oatmeal. I like everything. I like oatmeal flavored everything except for oatmeal. Cookies, granola bars, all that stuff is great. But I don't want, like granola is great, but I don't like oatmeal. So I had oatmeal yesterday, and today I was like, I can't eat it again. So I had eggs and toast for my session. I had a hard session today, a long session. I feel like I haven't had a long one like this in a while. And I felt fine. And then I mowed the lawn afterwards. And then while I was mowing the lawn, I didn't feel lightheaded, but my stomach started to hurt like intense hunger pain. And since then, I've been kind of off. So I feel like my body's telling me like calorically I'm not taking care of it. So I gotta get back on top of things. All right, let's scroll all the way to the bottom. Catch up with you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. Kyle says, as far as the humidity, I think humidity just tests your hydration skills. If you don't stay on top of it, it becomes dangerous. That could be it. I haven't been running with a lot of water bottles. What I've been doing at the park that I normally do my sessions at, I will leave a water bottle by the car. And usually I go by it enough that on one of my recovery periods, I'll be able to stop by the car and grab something to drink. It was cool enough that I don't really feel like I needed to have hydration today. So I don't think it was a hydration issue necessarily, but I did not drink enough after the run. You know what I mean? So I was fine during, but then after I probably did not replenish well. Lucani wants to know if it's Bandit packaging. No, I would recognize the address, and usually stuff that came from Bandit has Bandit in the sender's information. So, yeah. Raisin has a shoe question. I think it's running shoe Q&A. Raisin said, "I would love to know opinions on shoes to add to the rotation with my Super Blast. Just started a 16-week plan for revenge on the Yodogawa in November here in Osaka. Bombed my first time and for redemption." Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. So some people use the Super Blast as like a big cushion shoe, like a recovery day shoe. I like to use it as a session shoe. If you're using it as your recovery day shoe, then I would say pair it with Metaspeed Sky Plus for your racing, and then Nova Blast 3 for your daily training. So you got like an all ASICS family. And then I would probably, if you're using the Super Blast as your workout shoe, then I would definitely say get like a Nova Blast, or maybe a Nimbus 25 for your a little bit slower days. That's another way to go. So those are some other options. ASICS has a pretty solid lineup right now. So if you like ASICS, it's easy to stay in ASICS. I feel like most brands are getting pretty good now. There's not a lot where I'd be like, you got to really jump all over the place brand-wise to be able to have a solid rotation. I mean, you certainly can mix it up too, but it's easy to stay within the same brand if you're trying to. All right. Hui Yen says, "Happy Friday, Co. I thought about changing my Instagram bio to just a dude who likes to run, and then I saw your bio. Yeah, my bio's been just a dude who runs a lot So if you want to do just a dude who likes to run, that's fine. I don't care. It's not trademarked or anything like that. But yeah, speaking of bios though, I signed up for Threads. Have you guys signed up for Threads? The new app on Instagram, or it's like it's a Meta product, right? And so like you basically can sign up with your Instagram profile. It's heavily linked to Instagram. I guess you could sign up with a Facebook profile. I don't know, but it's heavily linked to that, and it's basically a Twitter clone. It looks like. So I don't know. I made a post. I don't know if I'm going to use it. Because I feel like, I stopped using Twitter a little while ago when things got really like weird over there. And I was like, I think I'm going to really miss it. And then after a while, I stopped missing it. And now I'm like, I don't know. I got nothing else to say. I'm overexposed already. I'm on a live stream 5 days a week. I make 2 videos a week. I make reels. I make YouTube shorts. You know what I mean? I'm making a lot of, I don't know. Maybe just to like, it would be nice if that becomes a place where it could become like a news aggregator for me. But Instagram kind of is that way already for me. So like if you follow like Cities Mag, Track and Field World News, like then you're getting like, I get pretty much all the news, running news that I want. And I'm not getting stuff that I don't want. So I don't know. Are you guys doing Threads? Niall says there's no Threads in the EU due to privacy issues. I feel like that's a good sign that I should probably not mess around with that anymore. Manor Run says, I deleted Twitter about a year ago, but taking it all in until the toxic folks start filing in. I feel like maybe, you could feel like, then you could be like, I used Threads before it got gross. And Lou says, not a fan of what happens if you decide to delete it. I've been seeing so far that the only way you could delete Threads is if you, or like delete your account on Threads is if you like delete your Instagram account. So that's kind of problematic. I feel like, I don't know. And Adam says it's another thing for Zuckerberg and Elon to fight about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I thought I heard somewhere saying that like Elon Musk filed a cease and desist. But I'm just like, that's not going to go very far. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. And Puffcalf podcast host said, I downloaded it just to save my username. I did the same. My wife said it. I mentioned it. And I was just like, my wife's giving me social media advice? Okay, cool. But she mentioned that like someone she follows for like Chicago stuff did the same move. So it's just like, just to make sure you had like your username in there. And I'm like, I don't know. And Alex Hermanson says, Threads is the new move, LOL. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. I don't know what that means. And Stevie76 wants to know if it's ASICS or ASICS. Everyone else in the world says ASICS. In Japan, when the Japanese say it, they say ASICS. But in the US, everyone says ASICS. So I don't know. All right, Sheila's got another running shoe question. Should we hit the button again? Let's do it again because I like that sound. She says, I absolutely love the SC trainer for every day and every training. Has anyone ever encountered issues using carbon-plated shoes daily? See, I feel like I was thinking about this today on my run. I think because I was running in the Kinvara Pro. But like, I don't know. My opinion on it is, I have many opinions on it. My opinion on it is like, I don't think that there's anything about carbon fiber is not radioactive. It's not asbestos. It's not, contagious, right? So like you have to think about what the carbon fiber is doing in the shoe. And I feel like carbon fiber does different things in different shoes. And so that's where I think like you really need to talk about it, because to say that like, oh, all other running shoes are fine to train in every day, all other shoes except for carbon fiber, and carbon fiber are the ones that are dangerous to use every day, I feel like really oversimplifies the discussion. Not that I'm trying to like overcomplicate it, but I think that really like just oversimplifies things way too much. And I feel like on the counterpoint to that, people are like, well, we just don't know. there's not enough data. They haven't been around long enough. So it could be really dangerous. We just don't know. Or it could be fine. And I feel like I don't follow doctors or everything super, super closely, but I feel like that's a question that they get all the time. And I feel like they always come back to it periodically and I always check in to see what they think. And unless I missed something recently, the data is always kind of like, there's nothing really wrong with it. It does change biomechanics a little bit, or it can change biomechanics for certain people. So there's things to watch out for, but there's nothing about it that's necessarily like evil. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my position on it. I would say that for some people, training in carbon fiber every day could be really problematic. Similar to how for me, if I trained in a traditional stability shoe every day, I would have a busted up knee within about 2 weeks. So I feel like there's things to think about. You have to think about what each particular shoe is doing to your foot. And I feel like the carbon in the SC trainer, I don't think is that disruptive. Personally, I've run in it myself, and I just don't find it to be a very like assertive piece of carbon in there. I feel it, but it's not the least assertive piece of carbon I've ever felt, but I feel it. It's like, it's not a super aggressive one, like say that you would feel in like the Adios Pro. Or like the old school Hoka Carbon Rocket. So my take is it depends on the shoe and it depends on the person. So that's what I think it is. I don't think that there's I don't think that a reasonable person that like studies this kind of thing would say, yes, it's bad, or no, it is. I think they would be like, it's a depends answer. That's my rant for today. I'm not mad at you. I get excited about it. Yeah, I'm thinking they've definitely been around long enough to have data. If there were evidence that place caused injury, Nike would have been sued a long time ago. I don't know, but that's how like all these arguments end. Well, they just haven't been around long. It's like the same thing that people say about like LASIK. And I'll be like, well, it hasn't been around long enough for us to have data on like if it's good for you. And I'm like, LASIK has been around for like 30 years. I think we have longevity data at this point. Yeah, so I just think that like they have been around. Nike didn't invent carbon fiber plates in shoes. That's also been around for a long time too, before then in spikes. People use spikes a little bit differently, so they didn't use it for every day. But I feel like there's data, there's information on plates, and so like investigation continues. I think that's great, but I don't know. PJ says, my PT is pretty against people using plated shoes for daily trainers since you lean on them instead of building strong feet, but 40 plus stack height probably also does something there. I mean, I think what you're kind of like dancing around, PJ, is the fact that like the plate doesn't sit in the shoe by itself, right? And so there's other things that are going on in there. Why are plates exciting? I think there's really two reasons why we're seeing plates and everything. One, it sells, right? So like there, a lot of like the marketing guys, the shoe product people are just following the money. Hey, if we put a plate in it, it'll sell, right? Like the New Balance Propel version 4, does that need a plate in it? I don't think it's a plate. It's like a TPU plate. Yeah, it's got like a TPU plate in it. But like the word plate sells. So that's why we're seeing it everything. But on the other hand, what you could do with a plate, because it acts as a stabilizer for squishy things, is you can get really squishy foam that's exciting to stomp on, and it absorbs a lot of impact and has energy return and gives it back. It stabilizes it so it's not too unstable, so it hurts people, right? And I have a feeling for a lot of times with PTs, I don't want to overgeneralize with PTs. I feel like there's something going on that I don't think brass tacks, you shake them, wake them up in the middle of the night. It's like, is there something about carbon that you find offensive? I don't think it's the carbon. I've been saying like it's what a carbon does sometimes to certain people. PTs are seeing a certain subset of the population. I just think I think people are really trying to make it very simple, make it about carbon and not carbon, and I just don't think it's that simple. Because do PTs have a strong opinion about speed boards in on shoes? I feel like in a lot of cases, the speed board is doing a very similar thing to what a carbon fiber plate is doing, to a different extent, but they're trying to achieve the same. That's why it's called a speed board, right? Did people freak out? People were going to worry about like the nylon plate in the endorphin speed. Did they complain about the nylon plate and the Zoom Fly? They didn't, but let's put that aside. I feel like a lot of times people are talking about nylon plates and things, but I'm like, nylon plates. Do people think that like the wave plate or the Trustic system and the ASICs and the Mizunos respectively, did those cause problems? I don't think so. People weren't complaining about those. It's the same material, right? So what is it? It's not the material that's doing the thing. It's, I don't know. I feel like it's not that easy of a conversation to have, but people love to have it really easy. And Frank says, yeah, PTs are stuck on minimalism because those guys had a whole biomechanics story. I think there may be a little, I don't know enough PTs to be able to say, but yeah, what was I was going to say something else about the marketing aspect of the carbon fiber plate. I forget. I just got super excited, guys. I got fired up. You guys got me all fired up here on a Friday. Let's change the subject. Eric Regatta wants to know, would you take the Takumi Sen up to half? Yes, absolutely, I would. But at the half marathon point, the Adios Pro 3 is also a really good choice. So it's like, depends on like how much you value the lightness. It can certainly go, but like 10K was really great for me. But I also didn't feel like, at the end of this, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to go further. So I think I could go a half marathon. But Adios Pro 3 is also really good there. CV76 says it's fired up Fridays. Sorry about that. I know I felt like I was yelling. I felt like I was yelling at you guys for a little bit. I apologize for that. Ben Miller says, finally caught alive. Any chance of you coming to the Dallas Marathon in December? Hey, Ben, what's going on? Glad to have you here. The Dallas Marathon is hard because December is very busy. I think Dallas also makes a lot of sense weather-wise, but like, so like December, first week of December is usually the running event. I'm in Austin. And then that's during a week. That same weekend is almost always CIM in Sacramento. So I usually do that double. Go to Austin to Sacramento and then come home. And then the week after that is Valencia, which is an event that I'd really like to run one year. And then after Valencia, then you're getting really close to like Christmas time and I got to start doing family stuff. So that's why it's like hard. Yeah. Matt Chinham Series says CIM is going to be nuts this year. Yeah, I mean, I need to reach out to CIM because I would really like to be able to get media credentials to not only go, I'd like to go to like the press. I don't remember. I know that they did a thing at the expo, but if there's a press conference, I'd like to really be able to go to that. Although I guess for the press conference, you're really going to be talking to like the elites and kind of like pros, but maybe not like world elites that are going to be there, which depending on who goes, I don't know how super interested I'm going to be. But the main story that I want to go for is the OTQ story. That's like my whole goal for going to CIM this year. That's why I'm not going to run it this year, among other reasons. I think which I told you guys about. But so I'm on Cheer Squad this year, but I'd really like to be. I'm going to be there. I'd love to put together a meetup with you guys. But yeah, I want to be able to see how that goes. Hey Matt, you said it's the last day of the OTQ window. Is Valencia the same weekend as CIM this year? Because I was just talking to Lauren Hagens at Nazili, and she wants to do. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter for her because she already has her qualifying time. But she was talking about trying to do Valencia half. Although I think Valencia half's a different time than the Valencia full. So I don't know. Maybe I'm. I think you're right, Matt. Never mind. Sorry. LLP says CIM is sold out. Yeah, it's been selling out really fast lately, which I feel like they really could make that race bigger. I mean, some of the roads that you run on in CIM, like they're so big. They're just big, giant, like suburban streets. So like, 3 lanes on each side with a turning lane in the middle, So like, yeah. Let's see. Jeremy Cahill says, I hear Sirius Runner signed up for CIM. In other words, we know who will win already. Well, I think Sirius Runner's got some, he's got, it's a redemption race for him, I think. The last time he was out there was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was it pre-pandemic when I saw him out there? I saw him out there 1 year, or was that 2 years ago? Maybe it was 2 years ago, right after the pandemic. But I ended up seeing him on the course, and I was like, why am I seeing you? You're a lot faster than I am. He's like, I think I have a broken foot. And he was like running at mile like 22. So, you know, hopefully I'll have a good day out there. We'll have to definitely meet up if he's going. All right, Eliza says, box, box, box. All right, let's get to it. Let's see what's in the package here today. Like I said, I don't know who it is, but now the more I've thought about it, I think I know what's in this package. Ooh, that was close. I almost cut the clothes that are in here. Got a packing slip. Oh, this is not what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be from Solomon, but it's not from Solomon. I'm excited about this. All right. All right, we got 2 things in here. I love the colors. I'm excited already. Let's go with this first one. This is the Ciriform Tee from Ultimate Direction. It's part of like their new summer collection. It's supposed to be like really lightweight, very good for summer running material. And it's not a tank. And I think they do make a tank though. But I went with the t-shirt because I was thinking Ultimate Direction, you know, get there on the trails and probably with a pack. So I felt like not a long sleeve, but a sleeved like t-shirt would be better. It's black in the front and it's got like 2 sets of colors in the back, gray on the bottom part of the back, and or it's not gray. It is gray. Gray with like these little tiny dots in it in the back. And it's a different material. It's a mesh that you can kind of see through. So should breathe pretty well. And it's very like soft and stretchy for the rest of the stuff. A little reflective Ultimate Direction logo on the side. And then another reflective logo in the front left. I wonder if these dots on the back light up too. I can't tell. But this feels nice. I like this. And there's also reflective strips on the shoulder. So interesting. All right. Let's see. Let's get the next one. These are. Wait a minute. I think. Oh. They sent me this in a long sleeve too. So same shirt, black. Same logo placement, but it's in a long sleeve, which I feel like, you know, on the trails are weird because you're at altitude sometimes. And so even though it's summer, you might want some more sun coverage. Like maybe it's a day that you need to wear a Legionnaire hat because it's very sunny. You can, I mean, this is black, so maybe not the best choice, but then you could be full coverage, you know, kind of like a rash guard situation. But the material is just so very light and soft. So this will be interesting to check out. It's got a little thumb hole in here for you too. So that'll be nice. I really thought there were going to be shorts in here. No shorts, just a short sleeve and a long sleeve. So that's it from Ultimate Direction today. Luke Line says, it looks a little warm for summer. It might be. I think that on a mountain, I think it'll be just right. You know, so. It doesn't seem like it's going to be warm. Like when I took my kids to the lake the other day, it was super sunny. There just was not a lot of tree cover. And I wore like the, what is it? The rabbit long sleeve ones, the ones that are like really stretchy. What are they, like the Easy something like that? Long sleeve from Rabbit. I was wearing that. And normally that's something I'd wear like in the fall. I was like, I just want sun coverage and I don't want to like, you know, like put a bunch of sunscreen on. So especially when we were on the kayak and stuff, it worked out really well. So like, I feel like there are situations where long sleeves are still very useful in the summer. Maybe not in super humid areas, but if it's altitude and dry, then it could get cold. So yeah. Sean Devlin coming in high. He says, bucket hats and Legionnaire hats, no one looks good in them, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to normalize them. I'm trying to make it okay. I did mow the lawn in a fractal bucket hat today. They sent me 2. They sent me one, like 2 different sizes, and the smaller one just doesn't really fit because I got a big melon. But it was okay. Matthias Vente says, Legionnaire hats were out in 4th of July, no clouds in the sky, 100 plus degrees. Yeah, it was hot. I mean, it's been hot the past couple of days. I keep seeing it in the news. But yeah, here it's been okay. I did see a Legionnaire hat today on my run. Someone was walking his dog, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Someone was walking his dog in a Legionnaire hat. And I was like, looks good. Looks good. Jody Beck says, when I joined the Navy, we were issued Legionnaire hats. No one ever wore them. I don't think I've ever seen a Navy Legionnaire hat. Interesting. Sean Devlin says, like, you know, for the Legionnaire hat, the bucket hat, if you're mowing the lawn or floating in a pool with a beer, I feel like if you're floating, a Legionnaire hat or a bucket hat works. You could be in an inner tube. You could be in a kayak, a canoe, a fishing boat, any kind of thing where you're floating. I feel like you could be on like a blow up unicorn thing, you know? I feel like the Legionnaire hat fits. It works. Jeremy McHale says, I'm a trailblazer, normalizing the Legionnaire hat and the split shorts. Yeah, it was hot in Atlanta. Even that run that we did when we wore the fractal hats, there was a lot of shade because of the way the greenways are. It's really nice. But every once in a while when we would not be in shade, it just like the sun cooked you so hard. And it got very hot and very humid. So like we had I mean, I don't think Drew's were split shorts. Mine were split shorts. But Drew's were short shorts anyway. And so it's short shorts, no shirt, and the fractal hats. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Kyle Patton says Tracksmith Legionnaire went. I don't see Tracksmith doing a Legionnaire hat though. But you know what I did do, and the reel will probably come out tomorrow. I just put it together. I ran in the all white Tracksmith Strata, and it was a hot day when I did it, so I felt like I gave it a good thorough test. But I was at the park running in it, and I got a lot of like awkward smiles when I ran in that. Like, I don't know if like pity was the right word, but the smiles were funny. The smiles were very funny. And Fionor says, did I put those soggy white shorts in the track? I love them. I think that they were super comfortable. I'm going to wear them around a lot. I like it. I don't care if they look terrible on me. I like the Tracksmith Strata shorts. I mean, I don't know that I would buy them myself because they're very expensive, but like, I don't know. I mean, I've always liked a white short. So like, usually the only place you can get a good white short, you used to be able to get a bunch of them in basketball. That would be like one way, but I don't really wear basketball shorts anymore. But like when I played basketball, like in high school and was wearing a lot of like basketball clothes in high school and college, like that's where you would get your white short. And then after that, as I got older, then it was like, then you look at soccer or tennis. That's where you get the white shorts. I'm happy that like white shorts are coming to running, you know. Steve 76 says Drew was wearing a 1.5 inch short though that day. No, he's here. Where is he? He said, no, they were 3 inches, but they look shorter on him. Yeah. A 3 inch short is still a 3 inch short, but Drew's over 6 feet tall. So it's smaller in comparison, I guess. All right. What was another question? PG wants to know, is the Triumph 21 any better than the 20? I don't have the 21. They didn't send it to me. And they will be sending me the Triumph. I don't know if they're going to call it the 21 RFG or if it's just the Triumph RFG, but it's an eco-based one. And I was like, when I asked for the Kinvara Pro, I was like, can you send me a Kinvara Pro and the Triumph RFG, the Run for Good one? So those are, I didn't ask for a Triumph 21. I felt like if they wanted to send it to me, they would have just sent it, but they didn't send it. All right. Leona Wong says, speaking of CMs, think it might be sold out now. It was 95% a few days ago. Yeah. Hi, Leona. How are you? Someone mentioned earlier that it's already sold out. So I wasn't planning on running it. So I'm not worried about that. But I do feel like I kind of wish they would have a half marathon. I don't know. Jody says, shoot question. Does the New Balance more soften up the more you run? Just got them in. Not as soft as I thought they would be. Imagine stepping on a cloud, but just a big hunk of midsole. I think it's softened up a little bit, but not like a tremendous amount. So if you're not liking it like right away, I would say like see if you can exchange it for a different one, All right, let's see what else we got here. Paul Public says, which shade of white is that? Is that pity white? Yeah, I got some pity smiles. I mean, like, I think it was like, because I was just running easy while wearing the Tracksmith Strata stuff, and it was just like I was soaking through it, and it does get kind of see-through when you sweat in it. Although I do feel like the liner does a decent enough job of, protecting some modesty there. And so I think it was just like, why is this? And I was like running into like the wooded part of it when I got the weird smile. So I was like in a like very much like a trail, and it was like, why is this guy wearing all white? And I also wore white Crew Tracksmith socks and the all white New Balance Rebels. So I was white head to toe. It looked like I escaped an insane asylum. You know what I mean? Like what did they call it? Sanatorium. It looked like I escaped the sanatorium. I feel like that's what happened. I feel like that's why I got the look. Not so much because like the white shorts were a mistake. I feel like the white shorts are great. I like them a lot. I'll be wearing them again. Oh, you guys are funny. Yeah, Eric says no white headband. I don't have a white headband though. The closest I have is like a gray one, I guess. We're glad to have the co-ghost. Funny. Yeah, Kyle says like I got the Wimbledon fit on. I feel like it's a tennis look. If I had white wristbands, like white wristbands and like a white headband, like a sweatband, like just that. What is that material? Like just cotton? I don't know. That's funny. Adam says, who watched the 10,000 finals, 1,500 prelims, etc. last night? 100 finals Sunday on Peacock/NBC. Sha'Carri ran 10.71 in the prelims. Yeah, I was following it all basically through Sidious Mag. I didn't get to watch any of the racing. But yeah, I'm hoping to catch more of it for over the weekend because now it'll be on like regular. Because I think yesterday you had to have like, I don't know what it was, like superfan.tv or something like that. I forget what it's really called. That's not the name. But like, yeah, I feel like they, that was tough that they didn't get it for NBC all 4 nights. But I guess like 4 nights of USA's is kind of a hard sell for NBC. But I'm like, if it was on like CNBC, I'm like, what is that Shark Tank night? But it's the summer, so it would have been like, we could have put on day 1 of the USA's or like a Shark Tank rerun. I mean, I don't even know what was on. It was like 10 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock Central Time because it was in the evening. So I'm like, I bet you it was a Shark Tank rerun. Or was it like a Marcus Lemonis, The Prophet or something? I like Marcus Lemonis, but I'm like, is that really... Maybe it's not the viewership, it's the cost of broadcasting that extra day. I don't know what that's all about. But I'm looking forward to... Well, I'm going to be full disclosure. I'm going to set it to record, and I'll watch it tomorrow. I'm just going to be straightforward with you guys. Oh, okay. Adam says, the issue with NBC is that they also have U.S. Open women's golf. More people like watching a white ball, I guess. That's why I always feel like, people are like, well, you got to go to commercial break during the 10,000 because it's so long. I'm like, but golf exists. You know what I mean? And we have baseball. Like you don't cut to commercial in baseball in between pitches. I guess they've implemented like the pitch clock or whatever, but like We didn't before. So I just feel like I don't know. And I also, here's my other thing about track and field. The main thing that I don't understand about track and field is like, why do we insist on seeing it live? You know what I mean? Why not just call the 10,000 meters the way it is and then just have it on, even just put it on like an hour delay? You know what I mean? Or like the same thing that they do with the Olympics. You can watch it live, but then there's also like a produced show that's on in the evening when it's not in like a conducive time zone for the US audience. Like why don't they do that for track meets? The most of the people that would watch it later at a convenient time probably are not following track and field on their Twitter feed or their threads. You know what I mean? So that's why I just feel like I don't know. Like why do we insist on the liveness of it? And that's why we can't show the throws, because it goes on during the day and then it makes it hard because it would interrupt other broadcasts. And I'm like, so prepackage it and put it up for later. I don't understand that, you know. Free Hype says, I mean, to be fair, you go to commercial in baseball between innings. I like when they still show the 10K at least as a minimized window while commercial runs. You get the race whole time in some way. Yeah, I mean, but like same thing. The analog to that would be like you go to commercial in between, like when they're setting up hurdles for the 400 IM. You know what I mean? That's the analog to that. You don't go to in the middle of the action when something could be happening. You know. So that I do like though that they're figuring out ways to like do the commercials, but keep showing us the action in case something happens. But it only reinforces the idea of like, don't show it to me live, call it live, and pretend that everyone's watching it live, but just package a 2-hour show so that way an entire day meet can be watched in 2 hours. I just feel like that's the better way to do it. Adam's the opposite. I hate it when they curate it for the time zone, show it live. Yeah, I mean the thing would be to do both, but yeah, I feel like right now we're getting like the worst of both options. You know, that's my thing. Yeah, Sega Dreamcast says NASCAR goes into a tiny window while they play ads. Yeah, and I've been seeing that more for marathons as well too, which I appreciate. Sega Dreamcast also says Sidious does crush the covers though, thank goodness. They are doing a really good job. I feel like though some of the Sidious's ads though are getting kind of like, they're getting. I mean, great for them. The weirder the product is, or like the farther afield from like what a runner buys regularly, their ad spaces, I feel like the more they're charging. So I think it's ultimately great. But I can't remember what I was listening to on a Sidious podcast the other day. And I was like, I mean, they got the Olipop, which isn't that weird to have like a fizzy beverage as a main sponsor of the podcast. Great. That's awesome. But I can't remember what the product was where I was just like, oh, that's nice. They must have really big reach. And someone else was just like, we're trying to expand into a different demographic. And so let's talk to these Sidious Mag guys. I feel like it's great, but I'm just like, sometimes I'm just like, now it just feels like commercials. Before when it was like ads, it's great. But like now it just felt like commercials. Maybe I think it was a pillows commercial. I don't like pillows. Video Guy Man 7 said, what character did you play in Super Smash Brothers yesterday? Or Smash Bros? My younger daughter won't let me call it like Smash Brothers. She says, Dad, it's Super Smash Bros. She makes me say it that way every time. I forget his name, but he's a boxer. I don't know what video game that comes from. Is that supposed to be the boxer from Mike Tyson? Little Mac, I think it was. It must be the boxer from Mike Tyson Punch-Out. I ended up really liking him. Some of the characters are just super annoying. But I like the boxer one. I felt like I was pretty good at the boxer one. Oh, Liana says, you guys probably talked about this too, but did anyone get into the London lottery? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Pretty much, I think there was one or two people from the UK that got in, and then everyone else did not. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like whoever's in charge, and I think probably not one person, but the people doing it, I don't feel like are doing a good job. I feel like they think they're doing a good job, but they're not. One, I don't feel like the rejection letter was very nice. And so I'm like, whatever, I guess you could be as mean as you want. It's your party, but cool. But it was kind of odd that they would animate a rejection letter. And then try to be like, and there's other ways that you can get in by paying a bunch of money. I just feel like that wasn't the right tone. And then today on their Instagram, one of the things there was like a London Marathon story about some guy who like tweeted out saying like, oh, happy London rejection day. And then later got his email and got in and then retweeted like, looks like I have to eat my words. I got into the London Marathon finally after 10 years of trying. And they like made that like that's the story, like a redemption story. Like, oh, I was so disappointed. I came in disappointed. I wasn't expecting much. And then London Marathon came in and totally rescued me. But I feel like showing the part where like it took me 10 years to do this is not the win that they think it is. Like I don't know. It makes me not like events if it takes people 10 years to get in. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Western States was in the news a lot recently, and I've already been like a little bit less and less enthusiastic about Western States, maybe for similar reasons. But I'm just like, if you got to spend like a lifetime to try and just get a chance to run it, I feel like, I don't know, it's like an emperor's new clothes situation. I'd be like, is there something else I could be doing with my time? So it just makes, I don't know. I just feel like if I were London Marathon, I would not be highlighting stories of people saying it took me 10 years of trying to get this. I just think that's a problem. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being grumpy because I didn't get in. Yeah, Martha says Tokyo and London are both nearly impossible. And then he says, Mike, I hope you can get in through another channel. I'm going to have to ask for favors and stuff or do work for it, you know? But people ask me all the time, like, how do you get into Tokyo? It's so hard. I'm like, it is very hard. The easier thing to do is to start making videos, make about 3,000 videos between Instagram, YouTube, and like YouTube Shorts, build a large following in the running community, and then hopefully the brand will invite you to run the race. That's easier for me than a lottery because I've never gotten a bib through a lottery before in any of the World Marathon majors. I think, did I get Chicago once through the lottery? I don't know. I don't think I've ever gotten a lottery ticket before. Luke Klein says Western States did rock this year. I mean, it looked like they had a lot of viewing of it. So I feel like hopefully that is a good thing for it. But like, you know, Western States the people of Western States are very quick to point out that they can't make it any bigger because of the interaction with the park service, which I get, which makes me think that like, okay, maybe we should focus on a different race that's not as impossible to get into. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not saying it burn it down, but maybe let's look at something else. That's kind of how I feel about stuff like that. Steve 76 says, this is definitely fired up Friday. I don't know. I'm very tired from the workout. And then I told you I had like major sugar crash or lack of sugar crash. So I think that's what's going on today, guys. I think we got to shut this down. Shannon's like, I love it when Ko's annoying. I think we got to shut this down because I'm just too cranky today. I just did eat before I came down here, which is something that I haven't been doing. But I knew I was low energy, so I was like, I don't know. My ears are hot right now too. I think I'm just fired up, and I think I'm like, it's been like a week of underfueling. Although, you know what I love about hanging out with Drew? Drew is very aware of when it's time to eat, and he makes sure that we eat. And there's a lot of other people. It's just like, you know, it's busy. We're doing stuff. It's scheduling, and we got to go. Drew made sure we ate, and I was like, this is the least hungry I've been on a trip ever, I think. Not to say that other people do it poorly, but I'm just like, I was proud of us. I was like, Drew, I didn't say it, but Drew, if you're still here, you did a good job of keeping us fed, man. That was good. But yeah, I think I haven't eaten enough today. Characterized ornery. Kofuzi is funny. Alan is calling me cranky. Lee Chad says raw. Yeah. And Matthias Ventus says, I don't think you're being cranky. These are legit points to be made for everyday runners. I don't think that I hold like unreasonable opinions. I agree that I think these are legit points, but usually I just kind of like hold my tongue a little bit more. You know, I like to have a little bit more of a sunshine approach to everything. You know, like I got thoughts, but if no one's asked, I'm not gonna provide them. But today, I guess I'm cranky. Rob De Janeiro says, I know we're kind of online friends, but I think we need to be real friends. I'm usually always angry. I don't think anyone here is an always like legit angry person. I think we all have things that we're like very particular about, but like there are other spaces on the internet where there's angry people. And I don't think that there's anyone here though, you know, so. Drew with the high five, man. Drew, thank you very much. Juliana VV says, that's my husband. He keeps me on the clock with the food. Yeah. You know, one of my favorite times, I don't know how to say favorite, but like one of the times I felt like the closest to my wife was when she was pregnant. And that's because when she was pregnant, she would have really bad like heartburn if she got hungry. So the trick would be, she just have to make sure she never let herself get hungry. So kind of snacking all day. So her purse got bigger and was just full of food all the time. That meant my wife had food all the time. And so it was just like, she just was carrying a snack bag around. That was nice. I feel like we were connecting, you know, I was like, now you know what it's like to be me, where like you feel like something bad will happen to you if you're not constantly eating. So there was that. Let's hear for the spouses that keep us fed though, for real. Mark Peterson says, you know what? We determined the other day that I'm grumpy as well. We did. Mark, I think for you, Mark, for those of you who haven't met Mark in person, he's just really such a nice guy, very pleasant to hang out with, especially if you're trying to watch a race and run all over town. I enjoy hanging out with Mark. I think you just had the baby, you know, you're probably not sleeping that well. Even if relatively speaking, you're sleeping well, you just had a baby. So like, you're not sleeping that well. All right. Kyle Patton says, you know, you're going to catch with John D. Slingback stuff with stack. I got to start doing that more. I'm going to, for trips, I'm just going to start bringing my own snack bag. I think that's going to be key. Because like a lot of these times, like, you know, you just end up not being able to eat that much. So, yeah. All right. I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. I'm going to go get something to eat. I don't think I'm hungry, but I'm going to go get something to eat. I need to hydrate more. I do feel very thirsty. So I think it's all related. Thanks, everybody, for letting me vent at you for like 50 minutes for today. 50 minutes for today. So I appreciate that. And hopefully I'll be in a better mood by Monday. That'll be the next live stream. And then I probably won't have a video out over the weekend since the Atlanta video just came out. So no video Monday, but we'll do another live stream. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, have really fun runs over the weekend, guys. All right, be safe.